Hello. So in this video, I want to show you how to recover archived campaigns. It's pretty simple most of the time. Um, I, if you work with an agency or you have worked with an agency, uh, many times if you leave them, what they do is they archive all of your campaigns. That can be a huge problem because then your campaigns stop running and you can stop making money pretty abruptly. And it's a pretty shady thing to do, but pretty much all of them do I've seen. So I'm going to tell you how to recover those if that happens to you. It's, like I said, it's pretty simple. Or if you've archived something and you want to bring it back, you can do it this way too. If you're in the case where you have recently had your campaigns archived, and you have like a historic spreadsheet, like bulk history upload, you can just download it and kind of follow the same process. You just have to know the name of your campaign that you're looking for. But I'll go through that. But basically, if it's already been archived and you're trying to recover it, this is how you do it. So you go to your bulk sheets, and this is sort of the default checked boxes. What you need to do is check both of these. And then for this, I don't normally do this because it's kind of annoying when you're doing like bid optimizations, but guidance for sponsored products would be very helpful for this step. So what you do, you click all these boxes, ignore this one, and you don't need that one. And then you create spreadsheet for download, okay? And then you get your sheet, pretty easy. And you can put in your filters, or if you have a BidBuddy, you can just tap that button. And then you're looking for campaigns that have been archived, right? So there you go. There's all the archived campaigns. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to actually remove everything else on account of I don't want to keep scrolling through it. All right. So there's all of our archived stuff. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do just one campaign. So this is the start of a new campaign here in the spreadsheet. That is signified by the campaign entity. And I'm just going to delete all this stuff again to make it easy to look at. All right, so we're just dealing with one campaign. It's been archived. So what we want to do, we want to put the word create, or you can use the drop down, which is the assistance, the sponsored product assistance. You just click create, and it will highlight all these boxes that need to be filled given the entity to create the campaign. So there you go. All right. So now we see everything that we need to add to get this campaign back. So this is your SKU here. We need to add a SKU, but it will already be in there like it was because this is a campaign that already existed. We're just bringing it back to life. If you want to put it in a portfolio, you could put a portfolio in there. But again, if this is a campaign that was already running, this has been archived for a long time, these things might be in there. The critical things that you need to worry about are right here. These need to be switched to enabled. Enabled. There we go. And then, your ad group needs to be switched to enabled. And then any targeting, so like the ads themselves, so the SKUs need to be enabled. And any targeting or negative targeting, just enable all of it, right? You don't have to change these from archived because these are informational only. So they are not, anything in the gray column is not read when you upload it. So the other thing you need to do is these names will match the names that your archive campaigns had, and so you want to change those to something else similar, and you can just put B. You can literally just put 1 next to it, right? And that's a different campaign name, and it will upload and will just have essentially the same name. Or you can name them something entirely different. In this case, we'll just say new campaign. There we go. New campaign. Okay. This is your ad group, and you would rename your ad groups as well. You don't have to rename your ad groups. You do have to rename your campaign. But ad groups can have the same name. So that's up to you. I normally do, unless it's something like that I really like to keep filtered that way when I pull other reports. So you don't have to do anything. It's up to you, basically, with ad group name. The next thing you need to change is this code here is the identifier for the archived campaign. And when you create a campaign, you will get a new identifier. So what I do when I do this, I just put C1, and if I need another campaign, I name it C2. Drag and drop all the way. And then this is a code for your ad group, and same thing. I usually do that and drag and drop. So if you have multiple ad groups in the same campaign, it would be C1 all the way down, and then I would do like A2 for the second ad group, that kind of thing. These right here identify the targets, the ad, everything basically to do with this specific campaign. So just delete those. They'll get reset. They'll be reassigned when the campaign is created. So we changed the name. We set campaign to C1, ad group to A1. We need to change our start date to the day you want to start it. So today's date is 3/08/22. So you need to change that. And we enabled all this. Now, these are missing some bids, so you'll want to put some bids in there. You can do this pretty easily. You can just basically copy paste this. Control C. There. So now you've got bids. And that is everything. Put create there. Usually highlight this. Create. Change these, delete this stuff, change the name. You can keep your ad group name, change the start date to the day you want to start it. You can't put a historical date there. You have to have a date in the future or today's date. Make sure the state is enabled, and then make sure you've got bids and everything in there. That's all you've got to do for these archived campaigns. You can delete this, but like I said, it's read only, so it doesn't have any impact on the upload. This stuff is what's critical. You do the same type of thing for sponsored brands and sponsored display. It's a little bit different in that you won't have ad groups. You basically have these settings that you switch to enabled. You delete these codes, right? And you put in, like this would be your C1, right? And you put create here. Unfortunately, Amazon doesn't have the assistance features for sponsored brands or sponsored display. But basically you do that, A1, okay, do that. This stuff, delete, new campaign, and the new date, 2023/08/22, and enabled, and then you would just enable all that. right? And we've got bids. So there you go. Everything for this would now upload and create the sponsored brand campaign over again if it was archived. It isn't, but so, and then the same deal. Basically, you need these entities apply to a campaign, and they need to be enabled, and all the codes need, the current codes or the prior codes need to be removed, and you have to give us a new campaign code, but it can just be anything. And I usually just use C1 because that's easy to remember, campaign 1. And then ad groups, you just do A1 for your ad group. That's the thing that is easiest to forget. Your date needs to be changed. 20230822. Yeah. And it needs to be enabled, right? If you do all that and upload, well, I guess, did I put create? I did not put create. Create. Okay. There you go. That would recreate that as a different campaign with a new name. I would change this name to new campaign. There you go. That's all you need to do. Change these, this, and these, and just double check that everything else is in there. Like this doesn't have bids in there, so you'd want to put bids here, right? Or it would just automatically apply that bid. So you pick, I guess. Same thing here, but this has already got bids in it. So pretty easy. So if you get your campaigns archived by yourself or an agency, which is what I see most commonly, you can just recover it. You can put your bids back to where they were. Now, sometimes what some agencies like to do is they like to change all your bids to like $1 or something like that, or something really low. That's a harder thing to recover if you don't have historical spreadsheets of those campaigns. Like if you don't have like a spreadsheet from the week before they archived it, recovering your bids will be a little bit more difficult. But what you can do is you can get started by, this column here is your cost per click, and every one of them has it. Cost per click and cost per click. And all you got to do is put equals. What I would do is take your cost per click equals that times, that's shift 8 times 1.2. Yes, I know that. Let's put, just for ease, we'll just put $1 in there. There you go. So if you have cost per click data in there, that's a good way to just like get close, to a bid that might be workable. That's sort of my suggestion there. But sometimes if you have a historical spreadsheet with your bids already in there, save you 10 time. Or you can set them to whatever you want, but that's how I would recover that if they basically set all my bids to $1 or 10 cents or something like that. I would just figure out what my cost per click was and then just translate that over into the bid column, and then give it a little boost, 20% or something like that, just to generally, your cost per click isn't like perfectly whatever you're bidding unless you use fixed bids, and even then it's not always what you're bidding, so I just do 20% more. So there you go. If you get archived campaigns and you need to recover them, that's how you do it. It's pretty quick relative to like building those campaigns over again, and it's an easy way to work around shady agencies archiving your campaigns and ruining your sales. So there you go.